Whatever the real truth about the world beyond, critics often say that psychics and mediums merely exploit the vulnerable and the gullible.
Well, no, I don't think that's true. I don't think I'm gullible myself. You know, I've done it for a long time, and I believe what I've seen and what has happened to me and how I've helped other people. I don't think people are gullible. They're looking for answers, and they can't find the answers anywhere else.
Actually, I said to someone the other day who's a friend of mine who's met a partner, and I said to her, I normally don't tell anyone I do this kind of thing until they've known me for at least 6 months. And when they know I've worked as a volunteer with street kids, in Lifeline, domestic violence, in human relations, as counselling, it's not my nature to harm or heal, it's not my nature to take. And this, if they know me, then they will know the rest. Look, I worked in human relations and I know many psychologists that I would probably like to criticise. However, you know, certain people attract certain energies, and what's good for one person is not good for another.
And I don't know how many psychics you've been to see, but sometimes they get it completely wrong.
I know they do. I've even had readings myself, which were a load of codswallop. Nothing at all came. And this one particular one that I'm thinking of, I mean, what was there? She never said a word to me. She didn't give me proof of anything. She never told me, well, anything that I didn't already know. I wanted to go more. I don't go into the past, because you already know that. If something in the future is going to relate to the past, then yes, I will. But I won't do it unless that happens. And she just kept in my past. And I thought, ooh, no, I want to know what's going to happen. I didn't mean 4 or 5 years ahead. I just wanted to know what was going to happen maybe in the next 12 months. And it cost me $135.
Do you know, the funny thing is, the more I hear about the spirit world, the more it reminds me of the internet. The internet represents the combining of all the information and entities of the planet, coalescing into one great whole, perhaps for the benefit of mankind. Many of the spiritualists I spoke to believe that the rise of technology is neatly coinciding with the rise of interest in spirit, that the two were somehow connected.
Where we are on Earth at the moment, and there are many other experts who've written about where Earth is at the moment and why we're going through these changes, and it's to do with the main calendar, some would say, but also where the Earth is on the periphery of the galaxy. Well, the way I explain it is we're open and able to achieve a lot more change now, because imagine you throw a ball up in the air and the ball's hovering before it comes back down. So at that very last moment where the ball is weightless, you could say it's neither moving up nor down, it's in that space of weightlessness. And that's where we are now. It's like everything is able to be shifted in a nanosecond, in the blink of an eye.
We've been slowly stepped into it, because to come from that, because we're in physical bodies and mostly not in our sixth sense, we think where I finish and another person starts, there's a separateness, there's not oneness, and yet everything is a one consciousness. And technology and what's happening on the planet is slowly stepping us to that point where we don't need a cord between my phone and someone's phone to connect with them. I can talk to them anytime I like. There is no... So the main thing that stops us becoming enlightened and fully aware of our psychic self is that we don't believe it. What is happening in the physical world is a reflection of what's happening in spirit. And I often laugh, if you notice, technology is increasingly changing, but also developing at a quicker rate, and then quicker and quicker. It's just multiplying at a much faster rate in terms of its growth. Our emotional growth change is changing. So a lot of things that are happening, technology is the easy way to see that in the physical world, that everything is rapidly changing. It changes and then it's changed again.
So if technology is moving faster and faster, and we're all getting closer together, does that mean at some stage we'll reach a kind of global consciousness?
We are that spirit, and as our consciousness, we're creating that, as well as that it's not happening to us, and that excitement is building, and that anticipation, because on some level we're already there.
And if the spirit world is aware of this global consciousness, will they somehow use it to contact us?
It will be at the right time and the right place. I wouldn't say it's a problem that you don't listen to it. If you're meant to listen to it, see, the guides will be they're very, very patient. They will wait for years, if necessary, for you to get the message, because the time is of a different construct on the other side. So it will be at the right time and the right place, and maybe there are times in your life when it gets really busy. However, if you block and say, no, I'm not going to do that, you actually consciously say, no, I don't want to do that, or no, I'm too scared to explore that because what will the people around me think, then eventually you'll probably get a little shove, so something will happen and you'll actually go, right, I'm ready now, because the timing is right, and there are times when certain experiences need to happen at certain times in order for then the future to come to you in a certain way.
The reality is that plundering the psychic world is big business these days. Characters we might regard as odd in real life can be worth fortunes to TV networks.
I believe that the celebrity psychic mediums are a really good start. They've done an enormous amount for spiritualism for over the years, because, I mean, let's face it, it's not so long ago where you couldn't talk to dead people on television. I mean, this was a taboo area. So I think these psychic mediums have done an absolutely wonderful thing in bringing this subject to a lot more people that perhaps weren't aware of it, didn't have access to it.
So TV psychics are a good thing.
I feel they're doing a service for people. I wouldn't take it negatively. I feel they're doing a great job because they're exposing it to a wider audience, and it's just lifting the profile. But to find someone that is genuine and is doing it to share their knowledge with you and just to do it in the right way is what I believe that people should be doing, and they're doing it from a spiritual point of view.
To me, watching people talking to the dead is always going to involve an element of titillation. You need a certain suspension of disbelief, a bit like watching horror movies. On TV, proof of life after death can seem like some kind of mundane parlour trick sometimes. But then, when we watch psychics, we just want them to get it right.
Yes, it is important that psychic mediums get it right, as you say, but it is also difficult to get it right every time. We need to remember that the psychic mediums are human, and they are trying to get information in a very, very difficult way. I mean, I do this myself, and it's not always easy, first of all, to get a clear connection, but it's not always easy to understand what you're being shown or what you've been given or what you're hearing.
And the thing is, you can't really win, because if you're seen to be sceptical, psychics say you have a closed mind.
But we also have to bear in mind that psychic mediums won't always get it right, and it's unfair to ask them to get it right every time.
A lot of them doing platform, and you can tell they're not seeing anything, because we believe in proof of survival, but you can tell they're not seeing any spirits. It's psychic, it's all psychic that they're getting through, because as the saying goes, all mediums are psychic, but not all psychics are mediums.
And what about the ones who get it wrong?
My truth is only my truth and my perception, and everyone else has their own. I think if they're starting to judge or criticise other people, then they need to really fully explore it. And I think I said to somebody once, a tarot deck is just a tarot deck. A knife is a knife. Some person can pick up a knife and become a surgeon, and another one will pick up a knife and kill somebody. You know, I think that doing spirit work, you have many people doing it, you have good, bad, grey areas, but you know, the blanket fear and statements and criticisms, I think they need to explore it fully before making criticisms. That's the one thing I would encourage.